Alright, so today we're going to talk about some recent news that came up in Houston politics, which is that there's an organization that I'm not going to name that's released an article that says that Houston has some of the worst and most dangerous sidewalks in America. And they're going to propose to City Council what they call a Complete Streets Ordinance. And a Complete Streets Ordinance has some things that are useful and some things that are, well, all of it is useful, but they have some things that are too expensive. The plan is to require sidewalks of a specific width and also to require bike lanes so that every street is complete and has all modes of transportation possible. Well, that's really expensive and difficult to do, but there are parts of it that I support. But what I found out with research was that, believe it or not, Houston actually has requirements for sidewalks that are above what most sidewalks in Houston are. Now, downtown Houston has 7-foot wide sidewalks in the Skyline District and along Main Street. Outside of that, there are sidewalks narrower like most of Houston, and I think if you know Houston well, you've noticed, particularly if you live in the Inner 610 Loop, that most sidewalks in the city are only about 4 foot in width, surrounded by grass, not enough room for both pedestrians and bicyclists. And if you visit other cities, you really rarely find sidewalks in cities as narrow as Houston's, and that's a serious problem. What I found with research was that in 2009, Houston actually approved an ordinance that had a requirement for 5-foot wide sidewalks and 6-foot wide sidewalks on specific transit corridors deemed by the city of Houston. Now, while this was passed, this actually isn't enforced. The new sidewalks being built are being built in this way, but the old sidewalks aren't being repaired. And so, what I'd like to see is Houston to go ahead and put out the money and put out the construction time and make every sidewalk in the city wide enough to pass. And this is what I want to propose, rather than requiring bike lanes on every road. This is what I would like to see happen. Another sad thing I found out is that Harris County has a policy that it does not build sidewalks. And believe it or not, a spokesperson for Harris County once said that sidewalks are not a part of a transportation network, and that they only want to deal with transportation, which is shocking that our city leaders would have such ignorance towards pedestrian transportation. A very small percent of people in Houston don't have cars, about 3%, but still, we are known, if you come from any other city in the country, you're going to notice how difficult pedestrian access is in Houston. It's one of the biggest problems we have, and it's a problem which we need to see fixed. And I think the best way to do that is to enforce the ordinances that are already in place that require sidewalks to be 5-foot width and 6-foot width on transit corridors deemed by the city of Houston. That's all that I have to say today for Houston Politics. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you later.